The afternoon sun filtered through tall windows, casting warm golden light across the polished wooden floors of the reception hall. Sarah had dreamed of this moment for years, standing beside James, her husband of exactly 43 minutes. She felt her heart overflow with a happiness so complete it seemed to fill every corner of the elegant room. The wedding party stood arranged in a gentle semicircle around them, their closest friends and family members each dressed in their finest. The bridesmaids wore soft blush pink dresses that reminded Sarah of spring roses. The groomsmen in their navy suits stood proud and happy. Glasses were raised, champagne catching the afternoon light like liquid sunshine. Sarah's mother dabbed at her eyes with a delicate handkerchief, her father's arm around her shoulders. James squeezed Sarah's hand and she turned to smile at him, thinking how lucky she was to have found a man whose kindness matched his strength, whose patience had grown deeper through all their years together. Then came a sound that didn't belong. A baby's cry, sharp and insistent, cut through the gentle murmur of celebration. Sarah's eyes found the source immediately. A small boy stood near the entrance. His dark hair was neatly combed, but his gray vest and white shirt looked rumpled, as if he'd been wearing them too long. In his thin arms he cradled a tiny infant wrapped in a blue blanket. The baby's face was red, its little fists waving as it wailed. The boy couldn't have been more than 9 years old. His eyes were wide with exhaustion, dark circles beneath them telling a story Sarah didn't yet understand. He stood frozen, looking at all the elegant guests, the beautiful decorations, the celebration. He had interrupted. His lower lip trembled. The room fell silent. Everyone turned to stare. Some guests frowned, others whispered behind their hands. Sarah felt James stiffen beside her, felt the confusion ripple through their wedding party. But Sarah's reaction was different. Perhaps it was because she had been a teacher for 28 years. Perhaps it was because she had seen that look on a child's face before, that mixture of desperation and hope and fear. Perhaps it was simply who she was. She let go of James's hand and walked toward the boy. Her heels clicked softly against the floor. Each step felt important somehow, as if she were walking toward something that mattered more than she could know. The boy watched her approach, his arms tightening protectively around the crying baby, his chin lifted in a gesture that was half defiance, half plea. Sarah knelt down in her beautiful white dress, heedless of the dust on the floor, the way the delicate lace might snag. She brought herself to the boy's eye level. "Hello, sweetheart," she said softly. "My name is Sarah. What's yours?" The boy's voice came out small and scratchy. "I'm Tommy." "That's a good strong name." Sarah smiled gently. "And who is this you're holding?" "My baby brother." Tommy's voice cracked. "His name is Daniel. He's only 3 months old." Sarah looked at the infant. The baby's cries had softened to whimpers now, though his little face was still scrunched and red. She could see he needed changing, needed feeding, needed care. "Tommy," Sarah said, keeping her voice calm and warm, "where are your parents, honey?" The boy's eyes filled with tears. One spilled down his cheek, leaving a clean track through the dust on his face. "My mama," he whispered. "She's sick, real sick. She's been in bed for 2 days and she won't wake up right. She keeps saying words that don't make sense and she's so hot when I touch her forehead." Sarah felt her heart clench. She reached out slowly and placed her hand on Tommy's shoulder. "And your father, where is he?" "We don't have a dad," Tommy said simply. "It's just been me and mama, and now Daniel, my mama. She always told me if something bad happened, if I needed help real bad, I should find people who looked kind. She said kind people would help." His eyes swept across the wedding party, across all the well-dressed strangers staring at him. "I saw all of you through the window," he continued. "I've been walking for a long time carrying Daniel. He's heavy and he won't stop crying 'cause he's hungry and needs his diaper changed, and I don't know how to do it right. I saw you all here and everyone looked so nice and happy, and I thought maybe someone here would be kind enough to help us. Please, I don't know what else to do." The tears were flowing freely down Tommy's face now, but he stood straight, holding his baby brother carefully. His thin arms trembled with exhaustion. Sarah could see he was at the absolute end of his strength. She stood and turned to face her wedding guests, to face James. Her husband's expression had transformed. The initial shock had melted away, revealing the man she had fallen in love with, the man whose first instinct was always to help. His eyes met hers and she saw understanding, their acceptance. "Whatever you need to do, I'm with you." "James," Sarah said quietly but clearly enough that everyone could hear, "we need to call an ambulance for this boy's mother right now, and we need to take care of these children." James already had his phone out. "What's your address, Tommy?" he asked gently. As Tommy gave halting directions to his apartment, Sarah turned to her maid of honor, Rachel. "We need baby formula diapers. Can you?" Rachel was already moving. "I'll take my car. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Sarah's mother stepped forward. "I'll warm some water. We can at least clean him up and get him comfortable." One of the groomsmen, Michael, spoke up. "I'll go with the ambulance crew to check on the mother, make sure she gets help." And just like that, the carefully planned wedding reception transformed into something else. The elegant tables became stations of care. The champagne glasses were set aside, water was warmed, formula was procured, someone found a clean soft towel to change Daniel's diaper. Sarah took the baby from Tommy's aching arms. The little one was so light, so fragile. She cradled him close and felt him settle against her warmth. His cries subsided to soft hiccups. She began to sway gently, an instinct she remembered from holding her nieces and nephews years ago. James knelt beside Tommy with a plate of food from the reception. "When did you last eat, buddy?" he asked. Tommy stared at the chicken, the potatoes, the soft dinner rolls. "This morning, I think maybe yesterday. I had to give everything to Mama to try to get her to eat, but she wouldn't." "Okay," James said. "Let's fix that right now. You did such a good job taking care of your brother Tommy. You did everything right." Sarah watched her husband sit with this exhausted, frightened boy, watched him make sure Tommy ate, slowly encouraging him with gentle words. In that moment she loved James more than she thought possible. The ambulance arrived within minutes. The crew rushed to the address Tommy had given. Later they would learn that Tommy's mother, Linda, was suffering from severe pneumonia and dehydration, that she had been trying to care for her infant son despite her illness, too proud or too scared to ask for help, that she had reached a point of dangerous fever and confusion, that if Tommy hadn't sought help when he did, she might not have survived. At the reception hall, Daniel was fed, changed, and settling into sleep in Sarah's arms. Tommy's plate was empty and he was drinking orange juice. His eyes kept darting around as if he still couldn't quite believe what was happening. Sarah's father approached. "I called the hospital. They're admitting Linda, treating her aggressively. They say she should recover, but she'll need to be there for several days at least." "The children," Sarah said immediately, "they'll need somewhere to stay." There was no question, really no discussion needed. Sarah and James looked at each other and simply knew. "They'll stay with us," James said. And so they did. The wedding reception eventually resumed, though it was different now. Quieter, more reflective. Guests who had come to celebrate love found themselves witnessing a different kind of love entirely, the kind that extends to strangers, the kind that acts without hesitation when someone needs help. Tommy sat at the head table next to Sarah. Daniel slept peacefully in a makeshift bassinet someone had fashioned from a decorated basket and soft linens. Tommy's eyes grew heavy, his head nodding. "You're safe now," Sarah whispered to him. "Both of you are safe." "I was so scared," Tommy admitted sleepily. "I didn't know if anyone would help." "Your mama was right," Sarah told him, smoothing his hair back from his forehead. "There are kind people in the world and you were so brave to go looking for them." In the days that followed, Sarah and James brought Tommy to visit his mother in the hospital every day. Linda grew stronger. The antibiotics worked, the fluids restored her. The care she received saved her life. When she was well enough to understand what had happened, she wept grateful tears. "I don't know how to thank you," she said to Sarah and James. "You didn't know us. You were in the middle of your wedding day and you stopped everything." "Your son knew something important," Sarah said, holding Linda's hand. "He knew that kindness exists. He trusted that even strangers might help, and he was right. That faith of his, that's a gift you gave him." 3 weeks later, Linda was released from the hospital, stronger, healthier, connected now to resources that would help her, support services she hadn't known existed. Sarah and James helped her get back on her feet, made sure she and the boys had what they needed. Tommy and Daniel became part of their lives. The families grew close. Sarah taught Tommy how to ride the bicycle they bought him. James showed him how to throw a baseball. Linda and Sarah became friends, real friends, bonded by circumstance but sustained by genuine affection. On their first anniversary, Sarah and James looked back on their wedding day, the day that hadn't gone as planned, the day a 9-year-old boy carrying his baby brother had crashed their reception and changed everything. "Do you regret it?" Sarah asked James. "That our perfect day got interrupted?" James pulled her close. "It was perfect," he said. "Maybe not the way we planned, but it was exactly what it was supposed to be. We got married surrounded by people we love, and then we got to show what that love means, what it looks like when it extends beyond ourselves." Sarah nodded, understanding. She thought about Tommy, about his courage, about how he had walked streets holding his baby brother, looking for kindness, and had found it. The greatest moments in life, she had learned, aren't always the ones we plan. They're the ones where we're called to be bigger than ourselves, to open our hearts when it would be easier to close them, to see not an interruption but an opportunity to choose love in its most generous, most expansive form. Their wedding day had been beautiful, not because everything went according to plan, but because when it didn't, they had responded with grace, with compassion, with immediate and unhesitating care. And really, Sarah thought, what better way to start a marriage than that?